Hello and welcome today. Today's presentation, the first presentation, is how to book accommodation effectively. So for the purposes of this presentation, we'd just like to introduce the two adults here that are my audience today. We have Mary Formosa, they're sitting on the left, and we have Melissa Galea on the right. Okay? So again, thanks guys for watching my presentation today. So today this presentation is to better understand booking accommodation anywhere, anytime, and through any booking channel. Okay? So it's basically to be a savvy travel booker. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to present to you today and to teach you to be a better booker. Okay? Booking accommodation. Now, for the purpose of this, my resources here are the slides. So you'll see the slides in my presentation. And I just wanted to make sure that just for WHS considerations, just make sure you've got no tripping hazards. If you want to stretch up and stretch if you want, or have a glass of water, that's no problem at all as well. Okay? So, but we're all here, as we can see, we're all safe here, safe and sound. Everything has been set up safely for the audience. Okay, so I'll just start here. So, how to book accommodation effectively. The ultimate travel booking checklist. Okay, so as an introduction, this is what we'll be looking at today. The fundamentals of your hotel booking checklist. We're also going to be looking at the advantages and tips of pre-booking accommodation. We're going to look at recommended hotel booking sites. We're also going to have some insider tips, some travel intel insider tips. And we're going to then have a summary of the important notes to remember, and then finally a conclusion. Okay? So, the fundamentals of your hotel booking checklist. Okay, location and standard. So firstly is location of your hotel. And what standard? Is your hotel central or out of town? So location is very important. We need to make sure that the hotel is a very good location, because a lot of people book accommodation and then they realise that it's not in the right location, or it's out of town, or you know they realise this when they get to the hotel. And I'm not kidding, about a small percentage of hotel bookings, people realise they haven't booked the correct location. So always, it's very important to book the location. Okay. Secondly, you may want to be central if you intend to walk around. So this is imperative. So a lot of the accommodation that I've booked over time, all right, is if I want to walk around the city, I want to make sure that I book in central location. For instance, when I booked a few years back in Europe, I wanted to book in central Rome, I wanted to book in central Paris, or even when I'm traveling to a city in Asia, I want to book centrally so I can walk around without the use of a car. Okay? And then use Google Maps as an excellent tool. Google Maps is probably the best tool for mapping, because you can also use it without Wi-Fi access as well. Okay? Standard of accommodation. What is the standard? Is it budget, 3, 4 or 5-star accommodation? That's also important, because people also don't understand that there are different standards of accommodation. Most people do get it. But remember that not all standards are the same either, okay? So for instance, what 3-star might be here in Australia is different to a 3-star in Europe, okay? This is very important, as most people have minimum standards, okay? So always be careful about the standard that you book. Cancellation and amendment policies. This is very important. Read the fine print. So what that means is, there are cancellation and amendment policies with every hotel booking. So what a lot of people don't realise as well, when they book accommodation online, they book it, and then a month later they want to change accommodation, but then they realise that they can't change. So even if they just want to do an earlier, has anyone had that? Have you had that previously? I don't know if you've had that.
Yes.
Yeah, you've had that. You've had that. And so it's just very, you've got to be very cautious about that. You've got to make sure that if you are intending to change dates, make sure it's flexible. So what is the cancellation policy? What if you need to cancel? especially in testing and strange times like now. Okay, even though a lot of hotels have pulled off their restrictions with changing because they realise that the COVID situation is very fluid, so they're very unrestricted. What is the amendment change policy? Can you change the hotel booking, and what are the other conditions? Okay, so like I said, it's imperative. However, many times, especially again in this current situation, many hotels are providing free waivers or free cancellation and changes as well. However, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine actually happens to be my brother-in-law. He actually booked a non-refundable, non-changeable accommodation in Dubai, and they won't refund him the money, even during this COVID crisis. They've given him a 2-year credit, but he is not able to get his money back. Next, refurbishments. Check your accommodation to see if there are any major refurbishments going on or major construction sites nearby. Okay? Major disruptions can ruin your holiday stay. All right, that's absolutely very true. Many people have also checked into hotels and resorts worldwide, and then there's a big crane next door or a big construction site. One major thing is, for instance, if there is excessive noise. Most people, especially if you're in an idyllic location, this is more if you're in an idyllic location like a resort or a beach area, it's a real holiday destination. Probably not so much if you're in a big city, you're there for work or business, but especially if you're in a leisure time, downtime, right, it could almost ruin your holiday. Okay, so if you need to double check, if it's not on their website, phone the establishment, phone them, or check via the website for information. Okay, does anyone have any questions up until this stage? Any questions from Melissa?
No.
Any questions from Mary?
No.
No? Okay. Next, credit card requirements. Most hotels and any other accommodation types require a credit card upon check-in. If you don't have a credit card, you can't check in. Okay, it's as simple as that. This is a fact and it just can't be ignored. All right, you need a credit card. You can have sort of like a debit credit card, but you have to have a credit card.
So it needs to have the Visa or the MasterCard.
Has to have the Visa or the MasterCard. Okay. Many establishments will refuse guests if they don't have one. Okay. So the recommended type is Visa or MasterCard. Okay. Is Visa or MasterCard. Check-in, check-out times. Okay. Be mindful of check-in and check-out times. You may be arriving very early in the city, yet your check-in time of the hotel is 3 p.m. So this is another major one, all right? On my travels, I've had to, especially I've made bookings for my family. We've arrived early in the morning, but I've pre-booked either from the night before or I have requested an early check-in for the hotel to check us in early, okay? That's because that can also gazump a lot of people as well, all right? So be wary of that. Now, check-in times, they vary between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. and check-out times vary between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. Okay? You rarely see any hotels where you need to check out before 10 a.m. Okay? Make a request to the accommodation if you want to check in early. Okay? So make a request. They'll do it for you, okay? But if you absolutely want to guarantee for your check-in, if you check in prior to the check-in time, you have to book from the night before and they will charge you a night's accommodation. Okay?
It's peace of mind though.
Yeah, it's good peace of
That's
mind,
true.
isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay? I remember on one of my travels in Dubai, I checked in with my family in Dubai and I booked from the night before, so we got in straight away into our hotel. Okay? Car parking. Okay? Are you driving a car to the accommodation? Okay, some hotels and accommodation establishments do not have car parking facilities. So a lot of hotels actually don't have car parking facilities. Okay, most of them do. They have a facility, but you need to still double check it. All right. And remember, most hotels charge for on-site parking. Okay, they will charge for on-site parking. All right. So and also, most hotels require you to book a car space. All right? You need to book a car space because without car space, then you're going to be actually in a pickle. Okay, you're going to be in a pickle because then where are you going to park the car? Okay, all right. Keep this in mind. All right. Any questions with car parking?
That's good to know because I didn't know with that you had to book for a car space.
Yeah, you do. But yeah, absolutely. Room requests and extras paid for room category. So what's this? This is a reminder, I guess, too, is make room requests. If you want to request, if you want, high floor, low floor, ground floor, room with a view, make a request. The hotels will always accommodate your request, okay? They'll never guarantee it, but they definitely can accommodate your request, okay? If you don't ask, you shall not receive, all right? You shall not receive, okay? Thank you. All requests go to the ones who have actually requested anything. So remember, if you don't make the request, you're not going to get anything. All the requests go to those who actually make it, okay? And believe me, I would say about 60 to 70% of cases in my lifetime, booking all my travels, when I've made a request, they actually have accommodated for me. 30% of the time, they just simply can't. All right? Like for instance, recently I travelled to Colombo in Sri Lanka. I requested a higher floor with an ocean view because I knew the hotel had ocean views in the main city. And I actually had a beautiful ocean view of the Indian Ocean for the whole stay. Okay, so examples of requests include higher floor, a special room, a better view, an ocean view, a larger room, okay? Or is it a special occasion? You might have a special occasion, it might be an anniversary, it might be a wedding anniversary, or it could be a birthday, anything. They will accommodate and try to do something.
So that's for beds as well, if you want twin beds or if you want a single bed.
Absolutely. So good point, Melissa. So that's also for bedding. So say for instance you've got two single girls travelling and they want a twin bed. You then request twin bedded rooms. It's a funny one, that one, because there are specific rooms with twin bedding, two single beds, but some hotels you actually have to request it. So that's a very good question. So yes, that is another request. Pay for room category. What that means is, when you check in, make sure hotels have actually booked you in the room that you actually booked. For instance, if it's a deluxe room or a suite, make sure they actually booked you a suite, because sometimes hotels, they actually book you in the lower room category when you've paid for the higher room category. So make sure of that as well. Any questions with room requests? No? Next we have room upgrades. So room upgrades, check to see if your room can be upgraded. Okay? If your hotel is quiet or in low season, you may be able to get a room upgrade for a small surcharge. Do this well in advance if it's a special occasion. You'd be amazed what hotels can do. Okay? Honestly, you just need to ask. Okay? They do upgrade a lot of the times. Okay? And always just be nice. Be nice to the check-in staff. And if they have inventory and they want to, they'll do it for you. Okay? And again too, you can either do this pre or post. So you can just do it pre when you're making a booking, or you can do it at check-in as well. Okay? Obviously, some hotels you have to pay for it. Well, sorry, all hotels, if you want a guaranteed upgrade, of course, you have to pay for it. But sometimes they'll do a free upgrade. Okay? But any guaranteed upgrade, if you want a better room, you obviously have to pay. All right? And especially, I just wanted to make note, especially in low season, they do upgrade, especially in low season. Taxes and surcharges. If you have pre-booked your accommodation, this is very important. Check to ensure that your rate is inclusive of taxes, fees, and surcharges. Okay? Does the rate include all these surcharges? Some hotels and locations in various countries add it onto your hotel bill. So you'll see, for instance, you've booked an $80 a night hotel rate, and then when you check out, you realise they've added 15% on top of it. Okay, because you didn't realise that that the room rate included tax. It didn't include tax, sorry. Okay, so make sure it includes it. Or if it doesn't, just make sure that it doesn't, because then you're not gazumped at checkout when you have to pay the room bill. You can go, oh, okay, I knew that it actually didn't include tax. I understand. Okay. All right, check the information. All right, at the time of booking. Don't get gazumped. All right, so always just make sure, does it or does it not include taxes and surcharges? Next, we have hotel memberships and hotel chains. All right, are you a frequent traveler or your client? Sign up to hotel membership programs and start accruing points. Okay, if you happen to travel quite a bit, it's free to join. Join the membership program and you start getting free upgrades, free nights, free this, free that, free breakfast. Okay, benefits can be really rewarding. All right, over time, of course, you're not going to get a free upgrade and a free breakfast straight away. Over time, if you frequently stay at these hotels, you can get things like free upgrade, meals, and free nights as an example, as I just said. Okay. Hotel chains, use hotel chain websites to help you with picking and choosing hotels. They can be very helpful with planning. All right. The hotel websites now are absolutely fantastic. Anything from low scale to mid scale and above. Okay. They're absolutely brilliant. All right. And they all have their brands laid out. Okay. So the advantages and tips of pre-booking. Number one, you don't have to worry about finding a room to stay when you arrive. Okay. Number two, it's already booked. Finding accommodation can be time consuming. You can prepay your accommodation. That way your payment is already made. In many cases, you can pay in your own currency and therefore avoiding hefty exchange rates. Try to pre-book, especially in high season or if there's a major event in the city. So definitely if you're in high season, make sure you pre-book because it can be very hard to find accommodation in the city, especially in a hotel or an area that you want to book in. Okay? Any questions so far? No. These are the major hotel booking sites. Okay, the 5 major hotel booking sites of the world. We've got booking.com, one of the world's largest accommodation sites, expedia.com, worldwide booking juggernaut for sure. Agoda is very strong in Asia, hotels.com, and last but not least, airbnb.com, which is a colossal site for private accommodation worldwide. Okay? So those are the 5 major booking sites. I'll be giving you a PDF presentation too with all this, so you don't have to remember all these sites. I'll give you a PDF presentation as well on all of this, okay?
Okay.
Next we have Travel Insider. I've left this more towards the end. So is your hotel really booked out? Sorry, they're booked out. Well, sometimes they aren't. So check with your hotel direct if they really are booked out. Okay? Sometimes they're not. Sometimes many hotels have special allocations and allotment they keep for themselves. So for instance, right, Mary and Melissa, you might see online that you booked a hotel or you're trying to book a hotel and it says it's booked out. If you ring the hotel, would you believe in a number of cases they're actually available? Okay? So always phone the hotel direct if you really want that hotel. Okay? And a city is never truly booked out. Okay? Don't believe that a whole city can be booked out. There will always be some rooms kept in some hotel somewhere. Okay? Check the cancellation period. Check again to see if a hotel is available within the cancellation period. Okay? Many people cancel within 24 hours of checking in. This is probably the most important part of the slide, all right? So if you really wanted that hotel, right, you're booking last minute, check to see again that availability of the hotel within 24 hours because a lot of people cancel a day before, okay? And lastly, club rooms, all right? Club rooms are fantastic. They have additional benefits, all right? Club rooms might be a little bit more, but they include things like free breakfast, afternoon canapes, afternoon drinks, alcoholic drinks, free ironing, pressing, things like that. Newspapers, everything. It's a really, really good bonus. All right? So, summary. Let's just go over the summary. Important notes. Remember to check remember to check the no-show, cancellation and amendment policy of the accommodation you're booking. 2, credit cards. You always need one. Don't forget. And lastly, confirmation proof, okay? Even though we live in a connected and an electronic world, but I would still suggest to have a printout just in case for whatever reason they need it or your smartphone is not working at the time of check-in. Okay, just 1 page, all right? So in conclusion and to wrap up, we looked at a robust hotel booking checklist so you don't miss a thing. which again in this PDF, in this slides, I'll convert this to a PDF and I'll present this to you as a handout.
Mm-hmm.
These include things like location, refurbishments, check-in and check-out times, room requests and upgrades, taxes and surcharges and hotel memberships, major booking sites of the world, the advantages of pre-booking accommodation. We looked at some insider tips, and lastly, important tips like cancellation policies, credit cards and confirmations. And hopefully this info will make you a better travel booker. Right? So I just wanted to thank you for the presentation today. Do you have any questions before I wrap the final bit?
Thank you for all the
No,
information.
thank you.
You covered everything.
Yep. Did you like the information?
Very
Yep,
good.
thank
Very
you.
well done.
No worries. Thank
Yes.
you. So thanks for your attention. And after this, I'm just going to provide you with just want a feedback form, your feedback from this presentation.
Wonderful.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, videographer. You can stop that.